Here are the reasons why you may feel stuck at your nursing careers and why you may actually hate being a nurse. And in this video, I want to talk about the mistakes that I have seen a lot of nurses make, and I have made myself in my career as someone who's been a nurse for over 14 years. You know, this is a conversation that we need to talk about. So if ever you feel like you are at a place in your life where you're making good amount of money, you have the title, but still feel unfulfilled, then this video may be for you. And I just want to let you know that you are not alone. There are a lot of nurses out there who are experiencing the same thing as you. And today, let's talk about those mistakes that I had just mentioned. Number one mistake is building a career solely around paycheck and title. I have seen this a lot. I've seen a lot of people just go into nursing just for the money. Some of their friends would tell them that this is a very lucrative career. It's a recession-proof, profession. And so they end up going to become a nurse just mainly for the money. And then when they get the money, they feel unfulfilled. While money is very important, definitely it's something that you should not ignore when it comes to like finding a career that suits your life. I think it's also important to find something that you like to do, in a sense that something that you would see yourself doing for many, many years. Now, let's talk about the dream job illusion, because this is something and perpetuated, I think, in our society, the idea of having a dream job, when in reality, there's really no such thing as a dream job. Now, I have posted videos before about like not believing that there's such thing as a dream job, and I have so many nurses like comment on my video saying that I don't know about you, but I found my dream job. This is my dream job. And honestly, I think that we need to also like think that for every job that we're gonna have, like there's gonna be ups and downs, there's gonna be good days and bad days, and that in reality, there's really no perfect job out there. Also, I think that especially in nursing, and this is a conversation that I also bring up a lot, the idea of like leaving the ICU was like an ego death for me. And I think for so many nurses who work in critical care, I think it's mainly for the title and also, the status that comes with being a critical care nurse. Like when people leave it, they think that they're no longer a good nurse or a badass nurse if they're no longer taking care of the really sick patients. And this is something that I have to tell myself, because I worked in the ICU for so long, and when I left it, I thought that I was not a nurse anymore. And even so, like going to nurse practitioner school, I thought that I was going to be an ICU nurse practitioner or a trauma nurse practitioner. But nowadays, that whole idea, that whole dream job thing has been thrown out of the window, because now I realize that a job is a job. And I think it's the same thing for corporate. I see this a lot with so many people trying to continue climbing the ladder, like getting promotions after promotions in their corporate jobs, and then feeling unfulfilled once they get to that destination. So a lot of people revolve their careers around solely that title and also making money, and sometimes that can leave you unfulfilled. Now, while I keep on saying that job is a job, it's also important to recognize that there are some careers that we actually like doing. And for me, I actually really love healthcare. I am a very creative person, but ever since I was younger, I've always seen myself in healthcare more than any other professions and any other careers. This is where I grew up in. I grew up seeing this career as something that I want to do when I grow up. And so I think that also helped me feel fulfilled in my profession in general. If you enjoy doing something, maybe weaving that into your career, finding something you're passionate about could also help you become fulfilled in your careers. Now, there would be times when your job won't match your passion, and that's totally fine too, because sometimes we have to go back to what I just said earlier, that a job is a job, and sometimes it's one of those things that you just need to leverage to be able to build a life outside of your career. And this is why I also say that nurses should have things outside of nursing that they enjoy. And I'm pretty sure that most of us are not just nurses. Some of us like to do other things outside of the hospital. For me, I love being creative. I make this kind of videos. I talk about money. I talk about investments. I talk about blogging because I love writing. I love being with my kids. So it's important to recognize that there is a life outside of nursing. And to also, like, if you cannot match your job with your passion in life, to seek out those passion outside of nursing and fund it with your nursing money. And that will make you more fulfilled in your career. The number 2 mistake that I see a lot of nurses do when it comes to their career is not aligning themselves with the company that they work with. And I'm mainly talking about the values, the mission, and sometimes not connecting yourself where your company or your hospital is growing makes it very difficult for you to like your job. Like for me, it's very important for me to work with a hospital that has the same values as what I also value. I'm a very value-driven person. So it's very important for me that we have a consensus of what the company is like aiming for. This is why in the past years that I have been a nurse, I've always worked in underserved communities, in teaching hospitals, because I love being around people who loves to learn. I love teaching in a sense that I don't mind if somebody asks me a question that they don't know. Like having that environment like makes it so much easier for me to feel fulfilled in the job that I do. A lot of like nurses that I know don't put themselves in situations or in environments that actually matches what their goal is in life. I am not one of those people who would tell you that your work is your family, because I fully believe that your work is your work and you have to have that distinction between. But sometimes like having the same values as your company makes a big difference in feeling fulfilled as a nurse. The third mistake that I see a lot of nurses do when it comes to like their careers is just working silently and not communicating their value. So there are a lot of people who actually goes on with their day just doing their job, leaving their work, and then that's it, right? And that's totally fine too if that is your thing. Now, the importance of soft skills is also very valuable in nursing. So being able to communicate, teamwork, especially in healthcare when you're taking care of really sick patients, is very, very important. And being able to share your value makes you more irreplaceable at work. I had a talk with one of my coworkers and how sometimes in life, it's not really what you know, and it's not really how smart you are or how hard of a worker you are. It's how much hard work you do that impresses the person above you. And it's more of like networking and who you know that really helps you step up in your career. This may be more for people who want to climb the management position when it comes to like nursing, but sometimes like even with like switching jobs, like knowing somebody helps a lot whenever like you need to find a position. Last mistake that a lot of people make when it comes to their career is that they're only relying on their nursing salary as their sole source of income. Depending on just one job is very, very comfortable, but it's also very, very risky. And so this is why I talk about like having different streams of income. I talk about it in one of my videos right here. This is my streams of income as a nurse. I think that financial security comes with having different sources of income. And I always talk about diversity and not putting all your eggs in one basket. Life can change fast. And even though we work in healthcare, there are things that could happen that makes you lose your job. And if you rely on just that one nursing job to pay your bills, then it's going to be very difficult for you to find another one, and you're going to be in panic mode and not have that emergency fund to cover for your expenses. And this is why you need to have different sources of income as a nurse, even as a nurse. Starting a side hustle as a nurse is very important. Also, if you have the time, you can do per diem shifts, but definitely not relying on just like one full-time job. It will help you a lot with the extra money that you can also use for investing. And this comes to the kind of like the concept of financial freedom and how by increasing your income, you can accelerate your financial freedom journey. For me, I don't think I would ever get to where I am now, like financial freedom and all that, without me having to consciously think about ways on how to make more money. Whether that is something that I do within my nursing profession, aka, job hopping, going from one hospital to the other, changing locations, taking differential pays, or like even looking for ways to make more money through certification pay and all that stuff. Or outside of nursing, meaning that starting my own business or other gigs that I can do to make more money, I don't think I would be where I am now. Like, I have investments working for me in a very short amount of time just because I was able to increase my income and my savings rate. And I think that that is one thing that you have to keep in mind when it comes to diversifying your source of income as nurses. Anyways, I love being a nurse and all the opportunities that has given me in this many years that I have been one. And I absolutely love my career. I love what I do. And because I was able to kind of see those mistakes, early on in my career and actually work on them, I'm able to really fully leverage my nursing degree and profession to build the life that I want for myself. And I think that that's what we need to do as nurses in order for us to have a fulfilled, life and career. Nursing is a very, very rewarding profession, whether you like the job or not. Like, I think that it's a blessing to be able to take care of patients and people at their sickest, worst times of their life, even at their best times of their life. So a lot of nurses are not happy because they're making all those mistakes that I had just mentioned. And to just kind of recap on those, number one is that they are slowly like building a career because of money, just because of money in the title. Second is that they do not align themselves with the values of the hospital or the company that they work with. Number three is they're not communicating their value and they're just like working passively and silently in their jobs. And then lastly, they're only relying with one source of income in nursing. And I think that if you address those four things, you'd be much happier at your jobs and you will actually love being a nurse. And I really recommend that you look into that if you are at a place right now where you're just questioning whether you make the right decision of being a nurse or not. Because honestly, like, nursing is a really great profession. And I hope that you stay. We need more nurses like you. And yeah, so hopefully this video is valuable for you. And if you like more topics on nursing, money, business, and life, make sure that you follow the channel and subscribe to the channel down below. And as usual, stay hydrated, stay invested. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.